catch a foot when I drive. Big pressure, I apply. In the ring, you won't survive. Yeah, I swerve when I drive. Yeah, I swerve when I drive.
Hassel, let's talk to me. Yeah. Welcome to another edition of Hassel's Review. It's your host with the most, Hassel. And this week, we're here and we got an actual movie review. I know it's been quite a while since we have done a movie review here on The Review, as we've been doing a great deal of toy unboxings for the last little while. But I felt like this was something that I really needed to sink my teeth in, so to speak, and to dive into, because as you guys know, it is the 45th anniversary of Friday the 13th, the franchise, and our boy Jason. And I am a massive Jason fan, as you can tell. I love the product. I love the franchise. Always have. This is one of my more treasured masks. It is it's a Mach 6, but we got I wanted to pay homage to the Slash from 3 and 4, so to speak. So I did. But as you can tell, I got Tom Savini's signature on there, the creator of Jason's original makeup and mask. We got Mr. Derek Mears, who played Jason in the remake. Very underrated remake, by the way. If you haven't seen it, go out of your way to watch it. It is one of the few remakes that is actually solid AF. And then I got the GOAT when it comes to Jason, Kane Hodder, the man himself from 7, 8, 9, 10. What can we say? We got robbed of him in Jason versus Freddy. I'm a little upset about that, and I have some really cool stories about this mask. And if you guys want to know that, let me know. I may do an episode and kind of tell you some of the stories about how I got these signatures and what all went into the various times that I met these guys. I've met them all more than once. Sweethearts, great guys. So, that being said, I felt like we had to sink our teeth into this. As you know, it is the 45th anniversary of the Friday the 13th franchise. And I'm assuming the rights are a little less muddled now than they were in the last decade or so. As you know, earlier this year, we got the announcement of the Jason universe. They're actually doing a Jason-themed haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights in Universal Studios. And there was the announcement that there would be a new Friday the 13th short film called Sweet Revenge, which is what we'll review here today. This was all announced at San Diego Comic-Con. Now, initially, I had some high hopes for this. Some really high hopes for this. When it was announced that the new mask was being crafted and created, it was going to be created by horror icon himself, Greg Nicotero, Walking Dead fame, too many other things to list. Greg is a true horror master, and he pays homage to a lot of the things. Like if you looked at a lot of the walkers inside of Walking Dead, he snuck certain, things in there, whether it was George Romero nods or, Freddy nods or various, just different iconic horror nods, in certain walkers here or there. So I was like pumped. Then San Diego Comic-Con happens and we get the reveal of that hot, steaming pile of shit that it is the new Jason mask. And I'm going to be honest, I am, as you can tell, I am not happy with the new Jason mask. To me, something in this vein, this is Jason. This is fucking frightening. This invokes fear. This, however, does not. This Minecraft looking shit with square hole eyes, I could not believe that an icon and such a huge industry leading personality would have just said, hey, here you go. I mean, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. Maybe he was smoking some good shit that day. I don't know. All I know is That mask was fucking awful. Simple as that. Awful. So with that being said, I mean, apologies for the dog. My wife's dog, she sometimes likes to guest star in our episodes, as you've seen her beautiful little face a few weeks ago. But, so yeah, right off the rip, I was very unexcited when I seen The Mask. Then we get a small teaser trailer for Sweet Revenge. And I'm like, all in all, it didn't look bad. Now, The Mask didn't look good at all. But, as a film, it didn't look bad. Now, we had already seen the concept art for Jason, and that was another hot steaming pile. And I was kind of hoping, okay, this is just crude drawings. I know when I draw things, I used to be what I consider a great artist. In the last decade or so, my skills have greatly diminished as I have carpal tunnel now. So I don't draw like I used to draw. So when I draw things now, it's, I'm not going to say crude, but it does the job enough to where if I were to give it to a real artist and say, hey, this is what my character looks like, could you do it for me? This is what I thought we were initially getting when they presented us with the initial art for the new Jason. It was kind of an amalgam of part 3 Jason and the remake Jason, honestly. I didn't hate I mean, preferably, costume-wise, I like the button-up shirt with the pants. I'm not super big on the open shirt with a t-shirt under. But you know what? Hey, I can get beyond that. We got the hockey mask. I'm a shady. I can work with that. I did like the fact that, okay, he's more of a undead ghoul like he initially was, and around part 4. Because to me, 3, 4, and even 5, even though 5 was the impersonator Jason, I prefer the Jason that is not just a complete zombie, so to speak, if that makes sense. Man, while that is menacing and frightening, I like the human, a little bit of a humanic look to it, just for the fact that it gives your heroine or your hero the illusion that they have a chance to get this motherfucker, right? So it's like, okay. So I was okay with that. And then you start getting the Angry Orchard whole deal, and I found out later that they sponsored this short film, even though it is Jason Universe. Angry Orchard sponsored it, and it was very apparent with the opening minutes of this, because it is basically an Angry Orchard fucking promo in some ways. I was a little let down by that. Again, I held hope. So when the movie dropped, our short film dropped, I waited a few days. I went ahead and I got I got YouTube Premium, so I downloaded it in case I was like, well, you know what? That way, if I'm somewhere and I don't have a good signal, I can kick it on and watch it. So I waited a few days, and I finally Sunday evening, I was sitting here, me and the wife, and I said, you know what? Let's check this out. Let's turn it on. And she initially thought it was some fan-made bullshit. Like literally, so to the average person, that's what the perspective of this is. It isn't this is a legit from a studio. And now I will say, I'm not shitting on the cast. I'm not shitting on the people that have made this movie, because I believe the director of it, he is doing the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake that'll be dropping later this year. I've heard a lot of good things about him, and movie-wise, it was not bad, other than the fact that the story gets a little muddled. For a 13-minute movie, it's going to feel rushed. I have no problem with that. So you start out with this group of friends. They're traveling to a cabin they have rented, and the lead final girl, so to speak, is Eve, and it's her boyfriend, another dude and his girlfriend, and another chick. So it's a group of friends. They're going to the woods. Well, they stop at the store and they get them a good 12-packer of Angry Orchard. Then they go to the cabin. They go to rent. They're renting from this creepy old guy, and I've seen this cat from something, and I'm not placing it. I know he has some kind of tie connection to something, and I've just somehow missed it. If you know, drop me a comment below. Let me know what I missed. And you know, because typically I take pride in knowing these things. But I just know he somehow ties into something somewhere. But he's there, and he's like, here's the keys to the cabin. And you can tell he's like eyeing up the final girl, Eve. Like he's a creep. He's a pedo. He's a one of those guys. So he's eyeing her up really creepily or whatnot. Well, they get settled into the cabin and whatnot. And it's a beautifully restored place, whatnot. Well, she goes to walking down this little trail or whatnot, and she's drinking her Angry Orchard. Angry Orchard, once again. She's drinking her Angry Orchard, and then she stumbles upon the guy they rented the cabin from. And he's sitting there, and I just, you know, like being a real creep. He's like, yeah, I just picked these apples. Would you like one? And at first she's like, and he's like, I insist. So she's eating an apple, and it's almost like he's getting this jollies watching her eat this fucking apple, which is a little, So, and they're like, you know, they hear small talk, but you can tell it's creepily small talk. And he's just telling her, unless you believe in local folklore or whatever, you guys will have a great time. And she's like, well, what do you mean? And then, you know, just the basic story. Murder, death, revenge. You know, laying it out there. Like, oh, here we go. Never mentions Jason by name. I mean, it does not ever at one point say Jason Voorhees. That's one thing that was carefully avoided, unless somehow I missed it. It seemed like it was carefully avoided. It just says, hey, you know, death, murder, revenge. So she keeps hiking along. She goes about her business. She's like, I tell your boyfriend I got the boat ready. You'll be good to go. She goes back and she makes out with her boyfriend for a brief minute, and she's wanting him to go skinny dipping with her. He's wanting to go fishing with his buddy, and she's like, "Well, I'm finna go." You know, and she puts the pour me on him, and like all men, we cave. So he tells her, "Okay, I'll be down there shortly." And he said, "Well, let me grab my swimsuit." And she said, "Hey, who says anything about swimsuits?" Well, she goes down there. He's like, well, damn, are we doing some nudity in this? We did not, by the way. But she is down there drinking her Angry Orchard off the dock, and she's got her little bikini top on and her shorts and whatnot. And, you know, eventually she gets tired of waiting on him. And this creepy guy that just gave her the apple, he's looking through a telescope, looking at her. And then finally she's like, the hell this. She gets up and goes and gets on a boat. He's like, the show's over. Well, he walks away. Well, she gets into the boat, and she just trolling along in the lake or whatnot. And out of nowhere, Jason pops up out of the water, grabs her, pulls her down in the water. This is daytime. Daytime. Fast forward, she comes up out of the water. It's night. You know, what the fuck? How long was this bitch able to hold her breath? And this is where it gets a little like, it's like, I don't know. It's, you pick up on what they're throwing down later, but you really had to put a little thought into it. And I don't know. It was like almost like they stretched a little far. So she comes out of the water. She got these super big bags around her eyes or whatnot. Very, I don't know, like mom and pop effect-ish. She got super bags around her eyes, but she's trying to get back to the cabin or whatever. And along the way, she just starts finding dismembered friend after dismembered friend. And now I will say, they went the Terrifier route with the people that were killed. You got like a torso sitting next to the lower half of the body there with the guts hanging all out, so to speak. And it's like, oh, that's pretty sweet. She finds the creepy guy. You know, because he's got his back to her. She spins him around, and the telescope shoved through his fucking eye. It's like, okay, we're starting to get somewhere. Well, she gets all the way back to the cabin, and when she goes to get in, there's like the glass window there, and there goes her boyfriend making out with the other chick on the couch. So apparently he's finna put the old meat rod to her. And then she's like, oh, you know, she's taking it back. I mean, she just drowned, essentially, in a lake for hours, and somehow survived. But she's taken aback by her boyfriend making out with another chick. When, out of nowhere, Jason pops up behind her. So she turns around, and you get this man, he's a good sized cat. The cat that got played him, he's a good sized cat. And you know, you get the stare down between the two, and then he picks her up and chunks her ass in the through the glass window, which halts the potential fudge fest that's going to happen. The other buddy comes out of the room there, and he's zipping his pants up. So apparently he was getting lucky in the next room or beating off one. I don't know. I don't really remember. But yeah, you get some. This is where it gets a little. They went the route of Terrifier, I will say. So the boyfriend tries to act like he didn't just make out with this chick. And he's, oh my God, he's checking on her and whatnot. And he's going to get help by going out the fucking front door where the killer's at. Which, why the killer didn't just step through the door, window door that he threw this chick through, is a little beyond me. But he goes to walk out the front door, and by the time Jason busts through the door, knocking the door over on the guy, and you got him here up. Well, Jason has some kind of, I don't remember what it was, some kind of saw type deal, and man, it mauls his face pretty good. I said they went very Terrifier-ish right there. Had a good kill there. Mauled this guy's face 2 pieces. And, that's what it was. He had the boat motor that the guy had prepared earlier. It escaped me. But he had the boat motor, and he used a boat motor propeller to saw this guy's face up. That was a pretty solid kill there. I'll give that one pretty good. Well, the other friend goes to run, and Jason takes the propeller off. Ninja stars him in the fucking back with it. Kills the fuck out of him. Well, Jason and the final girl, Eve, they get face to face again, and then Jason machetes her through the stomach. She falls down, machete hanging out every light. Well, shit, is she done for? Is the other girl going to end up being the final girl now? I mean, and I'm always cool when that happens, when you think the heroine or the hero is going to be one person and they swerve you. So, okay, we might have a little something here. It's starting to heat up. I mean, the mask is still hot trash, but the kills are making up for it, right? Well, he gets after the other girl, and she's running and all that shit, and she's like running to the car to get away and whatnot, and of course the keys aren't in there, but he's on his way after her. Well, Eve, even though she's been stabbed through the chest, stomach, abdomen area here, she pulls the machete out of herself and kind of goes after him. And then she grabs a knife out of the kitchen, like a Myers knife. She goes out there, and then she shows up at the car with the keys. Because she whacks Jason at one point with the machete or whatnot, and so that gives him the machete back. And they go to escape. Well, she gets in the car with the girl, and they ride out, right? And they get around Jason, who's right there with them or whatnot. And they're going down the road, and that was the one thing. When Jason went to kill the other girl, now that was something that would have, if they'd have went through with it, would have fucking cringed even me. We've all seen those little circular things that you slice apples with. Like you push the apple down, and it, cores it and slices, right? He goes at this girl's face with that. Now, I'll give the director cool points there. If that's an indication of what we're going to have with Silent Night, Deadly Night, you may have something there. That was kind of bueno. I like that. But they, like I said, they escaped. And they're going on the road, and then she's trying to apologize for making out with the boyfriend. When out of nowhere, Eve just takes the damn Myers knife and cuts her, kills her, stabs her. They wreck. And then she gets out of the car that they just wrecked, that she should have died in again. And she has her Myers knife, and she's walking back towards the road there, like unfazed, and she's still got the ghoul lines or whatnot. And then she looks down the road, and there's Jason with his machete. And they're almost like parents staring at one another. And then she kind of holds her knife, and he does his little thing around his machete. And they kind of go to walk towards one another, and the lake's off behind them in the backdrop, and then it fades to black. It is over. That's right, people. That's what we got. That is what we got. So, the fanfare, the speculation, what I drew from it. When he drowned her in the lake, She gained the same supernatural powers that Jason gained when he drowned in the lake, which that's why she did machete to the chest, still survived. That's why she could drown in a lake for 5 hours, come back at night, and be ghoul-eyed. Now, why she was coherent and all of this to where Jason is like a mindless killing machine, I don't know. Maybe it's because their revenge was different. Maybe it's because he was a on the spectrumer, so to speak, before he drowned. I really don't know. Solid kills. It just didn't do it for me. I'm gonna be honest. Best I can do is a 3 Hassel, 3 out of 5 Hassels, and I'm probably being liberal and nice, and solely because of the kills. If they didn't have solid kills in it, it would have probably been more to a 2 to a 2.5. Watch it for yourself. It's on YouTube. It's free. If you feel differently, let me know. I felt like it was nothing more than a glorified Angry Orchard commercial myself. Because I mean, at the end of the day, if this guy's chasing you versus this guy chasing you, who are you going to be scared of? I mean, let's be honest. This guy or this guy? I'm going to be more terrified of this son of a bitch over here, or the one on my shirt. I'm just going to be honest. Square eyes just did not invoke fear in me. So I don't know if this was a test in the water to see if they got the fans clamoring, and then they would put some millions in it. If they do, I hope they redesign the mask or go back to it. I mean, as I said in Beauty and the Beast, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just saying. I mean, if Mr. Campbell's got it right, it's right for this. So I kind of had a sour taste in my mouth, but I really wanted to still watch some horror. So at that point, I've been putting off watching Smile 2 for some time. It is free on Peacock, I believe it was. If you haven't seen that, go out of your way to watch Smile 2. I enjoyed the first Smile. I will say the only thing about Smile 1 I did not like was the monster design. When you finally see the monster, it looked cheesy AF to me. So we get into this one here. Starts off, it picks up a couple days after the first movie. You get the continuation of the character that ended the first movie there. And I think the way they done that was really smart. And how he passes on the entity was really smart. And when it goes on, and then it, goes after a high profile singer, and she's on the mend and whatnot. So when she starts losing her mind because it goes to her through another person. I won't spoil too much about that one, because that one is actually a really good movie. When you kind of get it, it's like you're figuring out like, holy shit, the entity wants her to do her death in front of millions so that it can disperse amongst more people than just one. Never fully being able to do away with it. So it's a really smart movie. Jack Nicholson's son, he's in it. He actually had a very minor role. I thought he was going to have a much larger role than what he did, but he does an amazing job in that role. At first I thought it was just going to be nothing more than him just smiling here or there, because he dies very early in the movie, but you some flashback sequences, and he does really good. He plays an amazing prick. Wow, I give kudos to that. And the smile, man, he could rival his dad's Joker with that smile when he has to do his creepy smile. That in itself, now that movie there, I would give a solid 4.25 Hassel. I would give it 4.5 were it not for the fact that once again, the creature, when it finally reveals itself at the end of the movie, and just so that you're not like I was thinking you're going to see it at some point in time before then, you don't get it to the final act of the movie, and I mean final act. It looks almost cheesier than it did the first time. I'm just going to tell you that. That's the only thing that drew me away from this movie. Other than that, Smile 2, fucking solid as hell, 4.25. damn near, it's got some really good kill scenes in it. Now, I was impressed at the gore in that movie there. Pretty damn solid movie. So, if you want to you rinse your horror palate after watching that abomination, Sweet Revenge, follow it up with Smile 2. You kind of got something there. So, with that being said, that's this week's edition of Hassel's Review. Don't forget to go show our Stay Weird Network family some love. Chris Daly at Fueled by Weird, Big Rob at Big Rob's House of Entertainment, and No Chinese Food, as well as us at the Nerdy Man Room Show. We are growing people. The only way we grow is if you like, subscribe, share. It's a small thing for you. It's a huge thing for us. We're very appreciative. We're wanting to continue to do giveaways and things of this nature. And if you support us, this is how we do it. As we fund ourselves, we are our own thing, and we make this happen. And we couldn't do it without you guys. You guys help us make this happen. So with that being said, beware the Friday the 13th knockoffs.
Garbage, top rope, catch a vibe, catch a foot when I drive.